I am AuroRa. I am the founder of A.U.R.A Hypnosis, Entity Removal, Past Life Regression. I am known as a spiritual revolutionist, galactic historian, oracle. I am also the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe, which you can find under Amazon in ebook and audio and paperback. Audiobook you can find under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. I offer quantum galactic Akashic readings, A.U.R.A hypnosis sessions, which are past life regression, entity removal, as well as raw Reiki sessions. For more information or to book a session with me, go to my website, risingphoenixaurora.com, and to book with another practitioner who are internationally, we have practitioners who are certified throughout the entire earth. You go to aurapractitioners.com. All the links are found below. Thank you for being here. Make sure you hit like now, This is going to be a very powerful transmission. Awesome. Okay. And then we have a couple announcements. We still have a couple spots left for the Siesta Key because it is a large house. It's about double the size than normal. So that's why we have still spots available. There's a few spots. Book them, sign up so that you can learn how to remove yourself and your loved ones from the inverted timelines and start walking most organic timelines. So you're going to learn a lot about this organic construct today through this most beautiful transmission. So join us at Siesta Key, Florida in January to learn how to do that, become A.U.R.A hypnosis, past life regression, and raw Reiki certified. You become the healer that you are, that you were born to be. Divinely, organically. And then we also have the next online workshop to do this, to become certified again, is March 13. I'd love to see you there. So go ahead and sign up. All my information you can find under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. And to support this video and all that we do, go to Patreon for $4 a month. You support all that we do. As you know, we're working always very hard. I'm working very hard, constantly bringing out new content and information over to you guys for the collective ascension. Okay, and then you can find me under TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble. Specifically, Rumble is where you can find all the sensitive contact videos. And one that I want to mention right now that is going on, we're on part 5. We just accomplished part 5. I know there's definitely going to be a part 6. If you haven't seen part 5, go to Rumble. You can find the preview here under YouTube for Antarctica, remote viewing Antarctica. It is going to transform and help put many of the things that you already knew into perspective so that we can continue to evolve. So a lot of what we're going to be learning today is going to be of the organic matrix and also the inverted and the construct. And we're going to be specifically remote viewing the pyramids that are spread out throughout the entire earth, the Mayans, which were Atlantean descendants, and then these portals, going into these specific portals. So we have new content every video. That is how we try to focus. If you haven't written your questions, write them now in chat. We have beautiful Gina overviewing the chat, so go ahead and write them there. Now let's go ahead and begin. Now we're going to go ahead and set intentions now that we don't consent to any haters, trollers, 111s, and love to the earth. Haters, trolls, any of that. We don't consent to that. So let me know. Yes. Yes. Oh, I was just reading something. Yes. So we don't consent to that. So keep it to yourself. It is, keep your entities to yourself. It'll be yours to transmute. I'm too sovereign. Don't even bother. That's okay. All right. Beautiful. So here we go. Wow. Phenomenal, you all. We've channeled this specific content just about every December and since beginning 2020. We didn't understand it then in 2020. We were understanding at the beginning stages, and now we really are understanding what this represents for our earthly and galactic construct, universal construct, and how it is going to basically assist ascension. Okay, so what I'll be remote viewing with you today are going to be memories and timelines of the times and spaces of the Mayans. So we are picking up on right where, so this is part of the Mayan Atlantean series. Okay, so we are picking up at right where the fall is about to happen, the fall of Atlantis, the AI archon artificial intelligence has spread, and it's outwinning, it's outbeating. Unfortunately, the humankind have chosen it. The majority of people have been, the higher percentage have been tricked into going with it, okay, to allowing for it to integrate into them. So that's where we're at. We're at that pivotal moment where the fall of Atlantis is happening. And then what is the plan? This is the divine plan. And today we'll be going in detail to what the divine plan is so that we can see everything that's coming into fruition in the now. Also wanted to mention, I am in channel back and forth, so bear with me. So I have to translate the words as I go back and forth. I am also surrounded by infinite force fields of love light by source. So the truth is that the English language is inverted. So if you hear me have to go back, it is because I have to translate it to the proper inverted plural punctuations or the way that it's supposed to be expressed in English, but the truth is that it's inverted. So for example, if you guys remember, I channeled Divine Mother Goddess Inanna Ishtar, and she says it matters not. So that is constantly how I want to speak when I am in channeling. So the opposite way, because the way that we word our sentences in English are inverted. So I wanted to point that out because we're going to be talking about a lot of the inversions that happen on Earth today. So that is truly how you want to. So another example, like when you speak, so it's a lot like Yoda, Star Wars. When I channel, that's the way I want to channel, but then I have to change it because again, I'm supposed to do it the English proper way. But so for example, like if we were talking right now and I were to say, you are beautiful and you are sovereign. That is not the way we were meant to say it. We're actually meant to be saying it, beautiful you are and sovereign. So see, it starts off with the actual empowered words, and then comes the actual, so the action words, the ones that hold the strongest energy. So I know, so that's what you're watching when I'm trying to explain the words. Okay, here we go. So I wanted to explain that. All right, and you could watch light language. We're going to direct you over to videos where you can go watch that we've already explained this content. So you could watch light language, and we'll go ahead, the light language video, we'll go ahead and add the links there below so that you can watch all these later. Okay, let's begin. Here we go. So I'll close my eyes and open them along the way so I can see clearly when I view through my third eye fully when I close my physical eyes. Okay. So these are memories actually that I had in Atlantis because I was there in Atlantis, just like many of you were. And we had a plan. We came up with a divine plan on what we're going to do for the future and what was going to come. We saw points of times and spaces that were going to occur. We didn't know exactly the details on how they would get to those points, but what we did know that these timelines would happen organically and also possibly through the inverted, but we can't quite the benevolence cannot control the inverted. What we can do is just hold the strongest love light and bridge in and birth organic timelines and ideas, knowledge, all of that. So they're on their own inverted game, and then there's the benevolence of love light that is completely on a trajectory of infinite love, source love light, and organic. Okay, blueprints. All right. So I remember, thank you. The plans that we saw was we needed to come up with all the priests and priestesses that were left that had not become inverted by the dark AI, who were actually clear. Ears are ringing, Divine Mother's talking to me. As we came up with the plan, then some people in secret. We hid in different sacred areas where they couldn't find us, and we would come together. And even if there was people who wanted to join our group of organic beings that were not being ran by the Archon artificial intelligence, they went through like a scanning of energy, and if they were inverted, they obviously would not be allowed within our space. So we could only have people who did not carry the Archon virus of ego and infringements and harming others, and really just the clouded, compromised minds and no longer heart guided was what was happening in Atlantis. Okay. I'm just so excited, you all. Like, the content and the knowledge that's being shared right now is what we've all been waiting for. You guys have been watching me possibly for 6 years, and it's wow. So I am excited. Make sure you keep watching every video to keep up with everything we're sharing. It is beautiful and profound. So I just want to thank you guys. I love you all so much, infinitely. Thank you. You're so beautiful. Okay. So yes, this group was vast. It was not as little as we thought it was. And there were also groupings spread out through all the different islands of Atlantis that were gridded like what they're showing me, like a 12-pointed Merkaba is what they're showing me. Okay. And then I can show you an image so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. This is all channeled information, so it just comes. So it's all live happening right now. Okay. So it was gridded like this, the different isles, the islands of Atlantis, which was also the heart of Earth in that moment in time and space. It was what kept balance the entire Earth. Okay. All right. Now, okay. So the grand plan was that some people were going to stay and hold up the space and be part of the collective source sinking down, because at that point they have become really inverted. We've talked about this already. Watch this series, the Mayan Atlantean series, so you could understand. Okay, go back and watch it all. Now, they were doing perfect things to humankind, consciousness, creating hybrids, chimeras, disgusting things to human life already, then human trafficking already, being pedophilic, all of that comes with the Archon artificial intelligence virus. These things that we thought we would never see, as we did not quite know then the choosing of the collective. We just knew that it was heading a very dark way. So the plan was that some people would stay there in the Isles, and they will hold the space of the Merkaba, and then they would assist in sinking down the sacred temples and the gigantic crystals that were holding some of this template, golden template up, crystalline template blueprint. We knew that it needed to be cleansed and balanced into Mother Earth. Therefore, it needed to be protected by Mother Earth and her oceans, her waters. So it was a grand, gigantic, universal, divine plan of the collective that we would then assist with the sinking down of these sacred temples, because the inverted were taking these sacred places, points, and starting to plague them with the Archon virus so that they can control humankind. So the whole Earth needed to go through a reconstruction of its construct. Okay. Now, so some stayed on the Isles, some then also, the few of us who were the elders, the councils of the elders, of the angelics, of the seraphim angels of the Council of 12. Some of us stayed on the Isles, some of us left. Okay. The plan was that we had to bridge out and expand out the Merkaba into the entire lands so that we can make the whole entire earth into, if you could understand, maybe the heart of earth. And that we had to create some of these crystalline pyramids and towers that we had in Atlantis. We had to spread them out throughout Earth so that they could hold the organic timelines that were meant to happen in the future. Okay. All right. So I'm recalling all of this, remote viewing it all. So then from there, there was a spreading out. And what I will explain is that we've talked about this in the past. Some of us went to Egypt, some of us went to Jerusalem, the scenes Qumran, Mayan, South Americas, North Americas, Africas. We spread out everywhere. And some of us even went to places where you will find some of these, like the UK, the stone sacred places, Stonehenge, and then also, Ireland. We went to many different places. Okay. And it was all a divine plan that was countering the inverted matrix. As we spread, we went to these sacred spaces that we had foreseen, as we were all oracles and seers. We had foreseen that there was a specific, if you could imagine, like, okay, so there's the Merkaba and it spreads, right? Like the Merkaba I showed you. And now all the chakras are going to spread and then become the entire construct. We also understood that there was going to be a time in the future where this inverted artificial intelligence was going to start taking control, as we were watching already it happening in Atlantis, but they were going to take control in many third dimensional programming control systems, as you see now, the schooling, the money system, all of that. It's all controlling. Okay. And as it continued to spread and it became, in that perspective, that's where we talk about Antarctica, and you want to go watch it. It did become a flat plane of existence. So I was actually looking at, the angels asked me to look for a map, and I was looking at a map. It was from 1567, I think it was. And it was quite interesting, the map that the angels had me look at. Let's see if I can find it now. Maybe I could give you guys a little preview of it. And now, okay, it's popping up. All right. I don't know, I'll just click the first one. So check out that map, y'all. Okay. So it's 1587, flat earth map of the world, Urbana Monte Historic. Okay, so there was a specific artist who drew that from back then. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you now. I just clicked the first image here. Okay, so if you see here, look at that. That's us here. There's the Americas. There's North America, South America, there's Africa. And if you look really close, look at that, guys. Here's the Antarctica walls. Crazy, huh, y'all? So then they froze them. And if you go here, so like if you zoom in on this, look, it has names and writings everywhere. So this is an original map from back then. Look at there's dinosaurs and animals there that we don't even know of here in these outer lands. Okay, so we were aware of this back then, that these lands spread out as far as that. Okay. All right, so I'll let you guys take a look at that. I know there's a specific artist I'm trying to see, so it might be Urbano, like you saw there, Urbano Monte. is who basically painted or drew out that sketch of the map back then. And we know they changed it to a globe. Okay. So we knew that the Earth was basically going to transition from a spheric 5-dimensional planet into that. You see that? What we just showed you. Okay. So that at that point it became a 3rd-dimensional plane of existence. And we've been talking about Antarctica, how these how creation are in infinite ocean waters. We are surrounded by infinite ocean waters, and these ocean waters are everything, the dimensions, the planets. So make sure you go watch that series so you can understand what we're talking about here. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, we understand that now. Okay. Okay. So now, so the main goal was to get to those places where we mentioned, but specifically North America was going to be, we had foreseen as oracles that North America was going to be the next Atlantis, okay? And that they were going to be the multiverse, not only of multiverse of races, because as we are very multi-race here in the physical form, but we are also multi-race, of course, through all the different alien races we are throughout creation. Angelic beings, crystal beings, all of that. Okay, source beings, beings of stars, and so on. Okay. So we knew that the final showdown, the end game, was going to happen, say, in the energies of Americas, and that the greatest revolution was going to happen in the Americas. So therefore, we needed to grid pyramids all in the North and the South America and the Mexico-Canadian areas, even down to South America as well. But we're going to speak specifically of North America. Okay. So we've talked about this in the past, how we have grids of pyramids. Okay. So what I'm specifically sharing with you right now are my memories as being an Atlantean being, then traveled actually to all North, South America Mayans locations. Okay. And the memories that I have there through also remote viewing, specifically how we began to begin these constructs and construct them. Okay. So here I'm going to show you an example. So this is in Mexico. I don't know where exactly, but so this is what they look like before in the 1900s, and this is what it looks like in 2022. So thousands of years ago, we constructed these Mayan pyramids. You can call them Mayan, Incas, Aztec, whatever. They're all pyramids that were constructed from original blueprints of Atlantis. Okay, so I can tell you that the Americas alone, the North Americas, you all don't know, there are thousands of these peaks that are actually pyramids like you see here. Okay, so let's talk about constructing. How do we construct these? We taught the people of the indigenous people of the time, and that's why they're the holders of the original balance of Mother Earth, how they loved and talked to the sun and the moon and the earth, and they cherished and balanced everything, and they gave love and honor to, if they had to say take a deer's life, they gave honor to every part of it, did not waste any of it, were never wasteful, gave respect and homage to everything. Everything was an exchange back and forth. Okay. So these beautiful indigenous people learned the Atlantean teachings. But then we know the English, horribly spread out through all the lands and slaughtered, raped these people, so on, and took away what they knew of the original teachings of Atlantis. So when they did that, a lot of the sacred knowledge was lost. I'm sure there's still, though, elders in different places, in different tribes that are still holding some of these knowledge that we shared from Atlantean times with them. You see them in like hieroglyphics, like they'll carve in stone in different places. Okay. Now, okay. So we taught them telepathy. They learned telepathy as well. They also learned the sacred teachings of what was allowed. And then this is how we built these stones. We carved them by, telekinesis is what we taught them. And through a grouping, we taught them how to build these pyramids spread out throughout the entire earth. These pyramids are an exact mirror, a representation to the constellations that we see above. Okay? If you were to map out the constellations that we look at the sky above and all the beautiful stars that are soul groups, even though we're an inverted matrix, they still have consciousness, just like we have a physical body that's an illusion. We still have consciousness, right? So these beautiful stars are both our ancestors, but also our family, star soul family. And every single one of these pyramids represents a star. Okay? So why, when you look at Pyramid of Giza, and I am still doing good on my internet, right? Because I haven't got any messages. I think I'm good. Okay. All right. So when you look at the Pyramid of Giza, why is it lined up to the Orion belt? It is lined up because it is the specific pyramid construct that holds the Orion belt's collective consciousness. Now, the stars are all benevolent, of course, all the beautiful benevolent beings, the soul groups are all benevolent. And Ceres and so on, all these star constellations are positive. Well, what happened is that they're just like we have the virus that entered here. When it entered here, it spread out to the higher dimensional beings that were here. It spread out to their lineage. Like you're born, say, to, I have people who sometimes are born to Masonic, Illuminati people, and then they're carrying that dark magic inside their blood. So then it spreads to their children, their descendants. So you need to work to clear that connection to that original blood of the Masonic Illuminati people that they might originally have been born from, but freed themselves from. Okay. So it's like that. Once we become here, it spreads. It didn't just spread to the lower dimensions. It also spread in some form, not in a higher percentage, but everyone was experiencing this artificial intelligence in a different way. And book 2 will be very huge because that's when we will talk about it more. Okay. Understand? Okay. So when you are looking at hills, no matter what they are, whether they're gigantic mountain ranges, they're not mountains, you all. Well, some of them are actual mountains, volcanoes, but the majority of them are pyramids that were constructed and took thousands of years to construct, or maybe more like almost 1,000 years is what I'm seeing to construct, spread out throughout the entire North America, Canadian, and also South Mexico areas. The reason why we came here was because we had the root chakra of the fear that was going to keep the collective fear of Earth, which is located in Mount Shasta, California. That chakra that Archangel Michael oversees, Divine Father there. And then we have the lower Mexican areas where we have, and also South America is part of the sacral chakra. We knew that, we were already seeing it happening there, and that they figured out that that was the best way that they can get their highest high off these pedophilic rings and infringements. So we needed to construct pyramids all the way from Mexico down to South America to North America to hold these two gigantic, most infringing chakras that were going to happen to the collective. We had foreseen all of this. So again, every pyramid is a star, is aligned to the star constellations that we see above. Okay. All right. And there might be extras too, like maybe, like I know in Mexico, there's like the sun and the moon pyramid that someone was recently talking to me about. So more so than ever, some of you guys are feeling like you need to spread out. Maybe some of you guys are tired of the Americas and this control. Maybe you're going to go to more of a freeing off grid locations. And the reason why you're feeling that is because it's time to say, spread out and assemble into our locations divinely so that we can connect then to these pyramids and continue the bifurcation that is occurring on Earth. The specific bifurcation, you're going to see a whole playlist that we talk about the bifurcation. We are now talking about the 1221 portals and the 1212 portals. It's coming up. 1212 portal is the beginning, is the middle point because it began on 12 2 to 2 2. But when you add up now 12 12 22, there is 1 2 1 2 2 2 2, which adds up to the number 12. This is a very important year. Okay. Then when you add up 1221, 2022, it's the same thing because the 21 and the 12 are mirrored. It's again the number 12, which then adds up to the number 3, which is the Holy Trinity of Mother, Father, and Child and creation. The number 3 literally represents creation and birth, sacred birth, birthing of creation. So when we are looking at these pyramids that we're talking about, they are what? This is really sacred knowledge, so sometimes it's hard for me to share, but I know it's time for us to share this. They are literally the cause and the gridding of the bifurcation. So you can watch that playlist here, but I'm going to share with you here the bifurcation of Earth, the inverted third dimension, fourth bridge, and the fifth dimensional organic blueprint, where we're back and forth. If you look at this, it reminds you of very sacred, I guess I'll just say like a vagina, okay? It reminds you of that, a sacred space where you birth out, okay? So the center is the birthing point. Uterus, the womb space. So what has been happening this whole entire time? 2012 was the original 2012 to the inverted, but 2020 in the Ethiopian calendar, which is the original Mayan calendar of the 13 moon cycle, which was the original calendar we went by when we were in the Mayans, we were Atlanteans. That one was in 2020. So our 2012, so the original 2012 was our 2020, going by the Gregorian calendar, but by the Ethiopian calendar, it was 2012 in 2020 when, you know, what happened, the V and people's choices, are they going to go inverted or organic? Again, we're seeing that mirror happening in Atlantis. Okay. So again, 2020 was the original, the real 2012 in the Ethiopian calendar 13 moon cycle. Okay, you guys understand? So when we saw 2012 here, we all started waking up because we were still asleep in the third dimensional. A lot of us, but a lot of you guys have been doing this for a long time too, right? I know I started waking up in 2012. And 2012 was the inverted 2012 of the 3D, okay? This side here, of this side of the, what is this called? There's a name for it. I don't like the name, honestly. That's why I can never memorize it, but you know, you could type it and then I'll say it. So, and then the center is the bridge, and then the right is the organic. So 2012 happened in the third dimension here, say, per this perspective, here on the left, right here, right? And then this is a bridge between both worlds. In 2020, the real 2012 happened here on the right in the organic in 2020, December 21, 2020. Okay. So this whole time, the pyramids, what they do is that it is a birthing. It is similar like when you are looking at two cells, okay? And these cells are going to continue to expand from one another. Even you can envision it's like the twin flame union, and how the cells and the orbs of the atoms of twin flame unions will separate from each other, but they're always connected. Okay. We also talked a lot about this in the Antarctica series. Again, go check that out. So initially there will be a birthing. So and then there will be a separation when the birthing happens. So it's a bit similar like when a mother has a child. And they sure separate from each other because the child is birthed out of the mother, but there will always have that soul connection, that soul bond, if of course they're in alignment. Now, if the mother is inverted and the child is a star being, that's different. But if they're in alignment and in positive alignment, then they will always have that soul bond. Okay. So you could envision our ascension is like a birthing, and it will continue to birth and say like dilate until it reaches a certain amount, say of centimeters, as they call it. But until then it splits off, and then out comes the creation and the birthing of the promised land, the original world, the sixth dimensional world, because we're ascending into the sixth dimension, not the fifth dimension. So these pyramids, we knew all of this was going to happen back then in Atlantis and Mayan. So we constructed these specific pyramids to bridge forth the collective ascension, so that when the star seeds were to come in, they would come in, and we've talked about this in the past, how every star seed energy, no matter where you're from, has to be downloaded sacredly into these pyramids. And the more that we built them and constructed them to every single, and I could tell you that it was completed. It was completed. That's how many major. So it would be completed to the, yes, the 88 constellations, but each 88 constellation has also like many, many stars. Really, there's an infinity of stars. So that was completed then. And now, since it was completed then, what we just have to continue to do is keep standing up for our rights, our sovereignty, our sacred laws of the universe that we talk about, the 13 sacred laws. This information you can find in my book 1, Galactic Soul History of the Universe, or you can go to my website for a brief summary of it. Okay. Whew. That's a lot. Okay, so let's see. What I can also tell you is that every pyramid, we've talked about this in the past through the Lion's Gate. You can watch that video to understand that. This year's Lionsgate video. So we've talked about how every pyramid is not just at the top. Every pyramid has another bottom to it. Okay. So like this. Okay. So there's the physical one that we see at top, but then there's an energetic one at the bottom. It could be also shown physically. Like if we were to dig under, you could see that, but initially it is energetic, and you portal in through here. The bottom pyramid is what holds the blueprint construct of Earth. And it is where, I can't say that. So some of the information is too sacred that I can't share. So, but just understand that every one of these points creates rings. Okay. So there's a ring here, So every pyramid, thousands of pyramids on Earth, creates a ring at the top and then a ring at the bottom. These rings create rings at the center of, so if you were looking at a flat surface of Earth, let me show you that. Let's see if I have a good one here. I think it would be, the best image would be that original map when I showed you all. I don't have an image of that right now. So, okay. So if you could imagine the construct of Earth, okay? So like this. So every pyramid here, everywhere, spread out throughout all Earth, has a ring at the top and then rings at the bottom. And they ripple out like spirals, like a serpent. And that's why you see in the Mayans, you see the dragon serpent, this beautiful sacred serpent dragon. Because at the center, here we are, and then it goes on and on and on and on, rings like this, rings. And in Antarctica, we talked about these rings and their importance there, okay? Okay, so let's see if there's anything else I want to share about the pyramids specifically. So every every 12/12 or 12/21 in the year of the end of the year in December is very important, because like we showed you, the two worlds are separating from themselves. So you can say that it's another centimeter dilated to the initial birthing and separation of the inversion, and then transmutation and eradication of the AI. Okay, so that's why we move little by little by little by little, and that's why Earth keeps shifting and raising in vibration and energy and love light. And whoever can keep up with her can keep up with her. If not, you're then back in the inverted, if that's where you want to be at, or you're in both worlds. The strongest of us are in both worlds, helping bridge back and forth. Okay, so I hope that all of that makes sense. I feel like it made sense. Powerful content. Okay, so I see we have questions here. Let me make sure I did not miss anything else we wanted to share. Okay, so during these times, we've told you in past videos, every time it's been this time and space, to ensure that you're eating light, very light. It's similar like the Lion's Gate and the eclipses, that you want to be eating very light. Definitely no animal product. You want to be eating very, very vegan. Or some of you guys might go raw, maybe just smoothies and so on. The reason why is we want to keep your body very light so that it can then align to the crystalline body that you are. Because if you have all this density of these products and chemicals, then it makes the body dense, and then it's not in most closest alignment to one another, the spiritual body and the energy body and the physical body. Okay, meditate, take care of yourself, ensure that you're aligning yourself. They're going to try to pull you into inverted timelines so that you can create their inverted timelines. Surround yourself with people who truly do love you. Embodiments, force fields, make sure you're shielding everything that we've taught throughout all these 6 years. Watch A.U.R.A. Hypnosis Past Life Regression playlist that I have on YouTube. Watch the whole entire playlist. It's filled with infinite wisdom from all these higher selves that are sharing this very important content with us of the higher self knowledge and experience, soul growth. Okay, so it was interesting to see, because also between then we had 2020, which was the 12/21/2020, where the official one, right? The official one that we wrote in the Mayan calendar that we left behind so that you can remember now what that was and what it was going to mean. The bifurcation, the beginning of the splitting of Earth And where really what was happening is that the beginning of the process of birthing of these two worlds was going to happen, and it has already happened. So that's why we often say that there's nothing they can do about it. It's happened. It can't be reverted. Okay. Okay. See if there's anything else I want to share. I think we're good. I'm going to go ahead and start taking questions. I've been talking a while now. All right. So first question is, when did the Atlanteans lose the high road to the Cabal in the Mayan civilization? So I know that once we gridded all the pyramids, eventually, after thousands of years of living among the indigenous people, so you might see images and drawn of, because we were taller and we glowed in light. We were still positive and still carrying the Atlantean crystalline glowing. So we did look like gods to them, you can say, but we're all brethren. So what happened is after the road was done with all the pyramids, and we could talk more about this in the future Mayan, when we channel the Mayan civilization completely. We're going in order right now. The next one is going to be, so we're in Samaria, and I think Egypt might be next, but we'll see. We've been taking a lot of time with the Atlantean series right now. Okay. So in case you're new to us, make sure you subscribe to all our channels. Hit like right now, guys. Let's help the algorithm here so that people can view this video more. Even though they mess with my numbers, but let's do it. Let's help spread this sacred knowledge. So yes, so after the construct of this, and then once these beings that were Atlanteans then ascended out, left, after they did what they needed to do, then it was up to the people. We left behind the organic teachings, and we knew that there was going to be some inversions eventually where people would start being conned into, just like we saw in Atlantis, some of these perhaps shamans in their spaces could be compromised by false entities where they were pretending to be gods, but they were really just the AI archon things, demons, and so on, negative entities. Or some of the people that turned literally dark, they turned into monsters when they allowed the compromising of these dark aliens to attach infringements. Watch the Grim video to understand that. Okay. So that's when it happened. Eventually, just like we see now, we see a group, whether it's a spiritual group or a group in the 3D. And we see that perhaps things start off really nice, really beautiful, with good intentions, but eventually someone in the group becomes compromised, and then they become a virus that then spreads to the entire group, that then infringes on the group, and it causes separation, segregation, this bullying and so on, attack on the ones that don't want to turn virus. So that is a representation to some of what happened. But for the most, I can tell you that the indigenous people spread out through everywhere, whether it was in Americas or whether it was in the islands. They were the most benevolent, humbled beings that really understood, or even some of the tribes in Africa understood how to be one with earth and the natures of source. Okay. All right. And the next question. Isn't Thoth at the pyramid resting? His energy definitely is within the pyramids, because where the pyramids, we can find our organic blueprints, we can find our Akashic, we can find healing, we can find the organic consciousness of the entire earth. Also the timelines, that organic timelines that are going to happen. So whenever there's an inverted timeline that has to happen, we focus in on the pyramids, and we tell you to also focus in on these portal dates, like the 111, the 555, the 4 the times, the dates that we have you focus on, so that then we can then be those channels and those antennas to these pyramids, hills, mountains that are all connected together. In the future, maybe in the next couple of weeks, we will be delivering a aura regression on the mountains. They spoke, the spirit's collective consciousness of the mountains spoke. So yeah, so keep an eye on that one. You're going to love that one. And yeah, so continue content there. So yes, Thoth represents the Akashic, our Akashic, when we want to start waking up and remembering ourselves. So that's why we encourage you, and we have words of English. Belief in you, that you can believe in yourself. I was talking to Archangel Michael recently, and I'm really good at believing in myself, but for some reason he wanted to tell me this, but I think it's also for you guys to understand as well. He said, Aurora, believe in yourself like we believe in you. And that's for all of you. Believe in yourself like the benevolence believes in you, your guides, your angels. Do it. Just believe in yourself. Okay. Someone's asking, maybe, okay, so the Oculus or VR games, virtual reality games, go in your consciousness. They do. My child told me they had them test them in math class. What is their plan? Ugh. I tell them to not consent. They do stuff in school without us knowing. Yep, they do. So we actually have a chapter in book 1, virtual reality and VR, the difference between VR and augmented reality, also AR. So you can watch a short clip on that, and you can find that under the Aura playlist where we talk about that. The person that spoke knew all about this content and shared it with us through their higher self form. So it is a form where they're trying to put them into a further simulation. So it's hard as parents. They are trying to put on, we've talked about these negative technologies. They're like helmets. They're like, they view them here in their eyes, and consciously, energetically, they can travel into these virtual reality realms, artificial realms, that is. Yeah, so yes, teach them how to shield, teach them how to say no. Overall, the goal, if you can, is homeschool, but I know that's really hard because sometimes you can't just keep your children homeschooled and completely shelter from the world, because how are they going to know once they grow up and they have to get a job? How are they going to know what the world is like if you keep them like that? So really just listen to your heart, listen to your guides. Some of you can keep them homeschooled and just keep really teaching them really, really strongly the world out there, so that when they do go out, they understand it. But some of the children don't want to be just at home. They want to be out there interacting with people. And maybe it's their mission. They're there to help heal the people that they talk to, the teachers. Okay? So follow your hearts. Is the RV real? What is that? RV? Can you spell out what RV means? When I'm in channel, it's hard for me to sometimes decipher what initials mean. Okay. Someone's asking me about a guru. I don't know. I think anyone who calls themselves a guru, no, we're all equals. Follow your heart. So someone's asking, can you please let us know whatever you can regarding the 12-2, all the dates that we talked about, 12/21, 12/12, portals and regarding two twin flames and bifurcation of Earth. So we've talked a lot about that actually already. Let me see if there's anything I can add about the twin flame unions. So with birthing, how we explain how the bifurcation is a constant birthing and separation, but then also unification. As this vibration keeps raising and the organic starts becoming more separated from the inverted, and it keeps gradually shifting, like I said, like a dilation at sacred birthing. What will happen is that lost the question. Okay. The initial organic blueprints, twin flames coming back together, are going to become stronger. Many of you have already found your twin flames in this moment in time, but some of you guys found them, but they have the V, or some of you guys are going to find them a couple of years from now, but have the V, and you're working on them now to help them heal in the future so that you can come into sacred union in the future. So these bifurcation energies, and the more that these energies raise, the more closer it brings for twin flame unions to come into fruition, of course. And all of that bringing more star seeds in, babies in. Unfortunately, we know, as we did cover the documentary Died Suddenly, which you can find under my Rumble. And we know how the birth rates are really, really low right now. It is a depopulation. So, but initially things will begin to, it might take years to do, but we'll be able to start, as more people start self-healing themselves, we'll be able to start seeing changes on Earth where that will then raise up and more star seeds are going to continue to birth forth onto Earth to assist. But right now, it's that transmutation, that awareness, that strength. We must stand up for ourselves and stand up for others. Which reminds me of a beautiful Lemurian language. What was that? The Lemurian language that the child shared with us. And what is the word? She felt, her higher self felt that it was important we use this word. Did we share this one yet? I don't know, we haven't shared it yet. Okay, but perhaps it'll be a part. Oh, yeah, we did actually. Yes, so you can find all of these under my Instagram if you want to just download them and keep save them. So right here, she said, Je vedo, which is original Lemurian organic light language, the original language of Earth. Je vedo, stand up for yourself or someone. That is the most important, when people just kind of stand back and cross their arms and they say, oh, I'm going to stay neutral. No, that's you consenting and you actually aligning with the rapist versus standing up for the child. Okay. Okay, we're going to take a couple more questions here and we'll be almost done. Okay. I've been finding a lot of videos with people finding red mercury and power tools on TikTok. Is it real or what is it? I don't know what that is. Red mercury power tools? Yeah, I'll have to look into that further. And perhaps we'll answer that in the future because I don't see what you're talking about. And then those initials, did we translate those? What is our V? Okay, I don't know what RV is. Someone translate that. Okay. So, okay, someone said, hello, Mr. A.U.R.A. 3 years ago, you channeled Archangel Raguel and told your viewers through him that he incarnated as Anubis. Do you still believe that what you said was true? Yes, I do. all of it was accurate. It was all channeled by love light, and it was an incarnation of Archangel Raguel. And then we channeled all the archangels and their different incarnations. The majority of them shared their incarnations when they were Egyptian. Okay. So yes, Anubis is the guardian. So Anubis also represents the canine alien race that is benevolent. Now, not all alien races are benevolent. There will be some malevolent, just like we see human life. Can we say that all human life is positive? No, there is very dark human life on Earth. So, but yes, this canine, they protect and guard stellar gateways and portals throughout creation. So, Raguel is a protector of, also one of the guardians of the Akashic. Okay, so the next one is, okay, but you're going to hear all sorts of inversions. I'm sure you're asking me perhaps because you heard someone said that there was an inversion. I've listened to these inversion videos, even just slightly, and they are so infringing that they not only drain on your light, but they become like this virus that's trying to feed into you and change your mind about benevolent beings. So be very careful with that. Of course, as we always tell you, listen to love light. If they are not channeling with love light and shielding themselves, they're channeling all sorts of negative polarized entities or the virus or the archon thing itself. Be cautious with yourself. Okay. Are these portal days powerful dates to do aura, passive regression, or raw Reiki healings on yourself? Absolutely. Yeah. If you can do a session on these dates, absolutely get yourself to do that. Most likely you are, if you do that on these portal dates, you're there with your higher self agreement. And not only are you really going to heal yourself infinitely, but you are really infinitely there for the collective to heal the collective as well. So, of course, all within your own sacred boundaries and your soul agreement with your higher self. But yeah, these portal dates are very powerful collective healings. A.U.R.A, have you heard anything about the giants in the deserts? I have been talking to the giants on Earth. So I do know that we are going to be channeling the giants in the future. I just don't know when, as we can only do one episode at a time every Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time, either here on YouTube or if it's sensitive, go to Rumble. Ensure you go subscribe there. So yeah, they are beautiful. So beautiful. Benevolent beings. Okay. Now, okay, the revision of the money system or something like that. Okay, the RV question. It's hard to read the money system, because it's so dark and inverted. It's all their agendas, but then it's also hard to also be, we're in that system, right? Like, how are we going to buy our food? How are we going to, I'm a business owner. How are we going to own a business, pay for websites, pay for, all these people to assist to run a business? If you don't have the money, then you can't assist the world, right? So it's interesting. So just really transmuting, alchemizing the money that you are using and always treating it with love light and viewing it just like abundance, that it's there, is very important, that it's there to provide, because that is what we are in this time and space on Earth. And then if that ever evolves and changes, we could go to that. But I do know that the world is not ready. And we've talked about this in the past. If the money system was reset and taken away, people would harm one another and loot one another, just like you saw that happened during even though they were controlled by who, the NWO, New World Order. Yeah. So we need some kind of system for now, and we don't know what it's going to look like. I cannot give you an answer on the rise of the money system. I know that there's all these different people that are saying there's going to be a grand reset. And every time they go from, okay, it's going to happen in April. Oh, it's going to happen now in June. Now it's going to happen in November. Now it's going to happen in December. You don't want to be wishing for this. When you wish for this and the world is not ready for a way to balance out how bartering or exchanges are going to happen, people are not enough in their love light, and we know that the majority of people got you know what in them. So this AI is inside of them. You don't want those people to go crazy because they don't have money and maybe they ran out of food or whatever. So we need to keep this going, but then continue to alchemize the money system until it divinely happens. And we need to also be careful that we don't feed these negative agendas and negative timelines that are always pulling us into chaos. And you're feeding these archonic systems. So that's what I can tell you on anything with the money system. I really don't want to involve myself with answering any of that because it's all shifting and moving. Yeah. So how was money or exchange handled in Atlantis? That's beautiful. There was no money. It was just energetic exchanges. It was a teamwork. People, we didn't really need to eat that much. So that really helped because, that's what sometimes we forgot about, because if we don't have food, we don't have money, we don't have food, and not everyone has farms in their lands, right? But back then we would just eat from the trees. Everything was provided for us in the lands. So the fruits, that's what we ate, the fruits of the trees. And it was very minimal eating, minimal. We really just replenished from the sun energy in the fifth dimension. Like some of those breatharian people that are already doing it now. So then there wasn't any money exchange. It was just always energy balance, making sure if you're going to go sing for someone's sacred wedding, handfesting, that then they would give you flowers in exchange. I don't know. So everything was a beautiful, exchange. Okay. How do you feel about Kaleido Silver for self-healing? I feel because we used to use Ormus, Kaleido Silver, even gold when we were in Egypt. And we would, though, alchemize it ourselves and create it. I feel that when you're buying it from someone who has created the product, you don't know what type of infringements are within it and how compromised it is. Everything that you're intaking spiritually in development, you must create it yourself to your soul signature. Basically, if they're creating this silver, this Kaleido silver, they're creating it to their alchemy. So how are you going to intake someone else's soul signature alchemy into you? So personally, I don't do that kind of stuff. I completely clear, stay organic, and I create my own whatever I'm going to use. I don't honestly really use anything but teas. I drink teas. And that's it. I use the energy that is surrounded by nature's plants here, the plants outside, the elements, a lot of what the seven goddesses talked about when we channeled them. That's how I live my life. Okay. All organic, crystalline. Okay. So comments. So let me see which ones I want to read. And it looks like we did amazing. We'll be finishing up soon. So it says, love you, Laura. Love you, AuroRa. I was talking to Laura this morning. If you haven't checked out our Rumble Cosmic Mother Rising with Laura Eisenhower, who is the great granddaughter of Eisenhower, the president, who is a whistleblower, and it is so beautiful. Check it out on the Rumble Cosmic Mother Rising. Okay, so it says, love you, AuroRa. Thank you for bringing forth this information. Love you too, Veluvia. Picture of pyramids. That's the pyramid of the sun. Oh, is it? Okay. In Tijuana. I think I said that right. No, I don't think I said that right. Teotihuacan. Oh, Tihuacan. Oh my goodness. Tihuacan. Got it. Tihuacan. Tihuacan. There we go. All right. I fell to my knees and cried at the top of that pyramid. Did you? Oh my gosh. So exciting. I know. I went to a pyramid when I was also young, and I stood at one of these pyramids, and I remember looking at the top and being like, what is this world? Wow. I like thought I was in a different world completely, where I really literally was though when I was there. Yes, beautiful. Though you did not have yet sight. Yeah, awaken so profoundly throughout the rest of the trip. Yes. So yes, visit any pyramid that you can get to as soon as you can. I think I highly recommend that for everyone. They're so heart activating and so expanding. Mountains. Mountains are also that too. Okay, someone said I went to this very pyramid. Oh, awesome. In Tihuacan, and I connected to the 3 guardians of the site, a non-physical mystery school. Beautiful. Oh, well, they had a mystery school there, non-physical. Beautiful dimensions. Yeah, you're going to connect to all sorts of benevolent beings, gods and goddesses that are brethren that are going to help you awaken much in you. The 3 guardians of the progenitors, and they are Atlanteans. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. They were tall and in robes. It was very powerful on the full moon. Wow, beautiful. Tihuacan is the Pyramid of the Sun. I didn't know that. I need to look into more of that because I don't research. I also haven't read, excuse me, I haven't read any Mayan book ever, or I just really looked at some pictures maybe on the web. So this is all knowledge and memory of back then. So yeah, wow, that's beautiful. So the sun and the moon one. Okay. Someone said, amazing, Aurora. Thanks for the sacred information. You're welcome. It is my honor. Here we are again. We planned it out, guys, before we fell. And here we are again. All of you guys listening to, we're part of that, of course, in whatever form that it was yours. What is found at the pyramids? Extraordinary. Thank you so much for all that you do and you share. Thank you. Atlantean times. We should start calling them the old world order. Yes. Ancient world order. Okay. Oh, okay. Highlighted thoughts. Okay. Beautiful. So are these your highlighted thoughts, Gina, or other people's highlighted thoughts? So action words come first, speaking similar to Yoda. Oh, thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yes. So that's how we are meant to be talking. Okay. The action, then everything, but they have it backwards. Yes. The flat earth map. Good. You wrote that. Oh, okay. So these are mine. Oh, what I talked about. Okay. Okay. So yes, the bifurcation, the Vesica Pisces is what they call it, but that's not his name. Maybe we could channel, we could all connect to what's the actual name of the bifurcation, 2 world split. We could probably just read it backwards and it'll be accurate. A lot of people who are dyslexic are basically just reading it, the language properly. Okay, beautiful. So yeah, we covered everything. Thank you, everyone. Wow, amazing. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know you've been waiting for the next video series, or you've been really in the Antarctica one and been like, oh my God, when's the next one coming out? Check out our shorts on TikTok, but to see the whole video, check it out definitely on Rumble. Make sure you're caught up with it. It's so powerful. Yes. Part 5 specifically, it is, we were preparing you all 4 before we got to 5. I know 5 is a little bit like, what? It's like whole, I don't know what to say, but we prepared you all 4 to get to 5. So make sure you go watch part 5. Okay, we'll see you most likely in our next video. Most likely it will be part 6 of Antarctica on Rumble Live. Join us there, but otherwise, just make sure you go all of my social media platforms, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook, watch me there, follow us there. I love you with all that I am. I am so proud of you guys for being here to understand this sacred content. And I am proud of the collective that we were able to share what we were able to sacredly in this moment in time and space that was so secretly sensitively guarded in that time and space, and now here we are in this moment in time being able to share what we prepared, and we knew that no matter what inverted timelines that they would throw at us, that if we just got to that bifurcation, and we knew we would, in 2020, the 2012, and the beginning of 2012 in our Gregorian calendar. That is it. No matter how many things they could throw at us, that was it. So let's continue to birth these together, birth our organic timelines sacredly as both feminine and masculine, as we are both, this beautiful sacred union of the semen and the egg. Let's continue to expand that throughout Earth. Spread your love every day to Earth. Continue to hold those original Atlantean blueprints that are held in the pyramids in the mountains. I love you guys with all that I am. I love you, love you, love you. Come meet me at the Siesta Key retreat. Come meet me. Come give me a really, really big hug. Dream from last night was actually, I was at the retreat and I was giving people hugs as they were coming in. And my hugs were magical. And I could feel their energy just literally shifting as I was hugging them and finding themselves further. That is what happens when we channel infinite source of light. We do that for others. You guys do that as well everywhere. But yeah, love to meet you there. Thank you. Otherwise, I'll see you at a workshop. Next one is in March and then in June. Love, love, love. Honor you and respect you. See you next time. Veluvia. Love, 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 love you guys. Going to the screen so I can end this. Here we go. Just singing meanwhile. Love you guys. Talk to you later.